Hello everyone and welcome to my coloring corner. Today is Tips and Tricks Tuesday and we are still working on skin tones and things like that. So last week we colored her parts of her hair and I think she's coming along quite nicely. There's a couple of tricks I'm going to show you on doing her hair and a couple of things that I'm also going to show you. A couple of color combinations I'm going to show you in the Blick color combinations. This is my own chart. I have created my own skin tone chart and it is available to members in the special members folder. There is a link to that in the community tab. If you would like to join our memberships, of course, just hit that join button and it will give you all of the options. Those are not the only things that members receive. Those are the things guaranteed. However, I'm an overachiever and have put together other things as well that I am offering the members as we go along. So what we're going to do today is we're going to actually do our two skin tones for the Blick Studio colored pencils, and then we will do some tricks on her hair, and we'll see where it gets to at that point. So what we're going to do is we're going to switch over to the close-up camera so you guys can see a little bit better. Switch you on over. There we go. So these pictures are a stock photo from a program that I use to create things. So it is not a photo that I'm not allowed to use. I did not draw it. However, I am using it. All right, so the first one we're going to start with here, and I'm going to grab a pen so I can write down the numbers as we go so that you can see. The first one we're going to start with is light violet, and I don't think there is a number on these, so we'll just have to write down names. Oh, no, which is 488, I do believe. Yeah. So let's put light violet 488 is the first color we're going to use. So we're going to fill in this little box with the light violet. I probably could have gone with smaller boxes, but yeah, I like to be able to see it with my glasses off. And I really like the Blick Studios for skin tones. They do seem to blend well together and layer very nicely. So okay, so that's the first color we're going to use. It's showing up a little bit lighter on the camera than it actually is. It's actually a purpley burgundy violet color. So it's not the dark violet color like the dark red violet, but it is a light red violet. Now I'm going to give this a quick sharp because I want to get into the deepest parts around her hairline. So we're going to start with it here in the deep part of her hairline, and we're going to follow that hairline down everywhere that it's shadowing and down the side of her face there. Same with the other side. I'll try to stay in the camera. I'll follow it down and then down her face, under her chin, and down her shoulder blade. Basically putting it anywhere that there's going to be a shadow. Now her head is tipped to this side, so there's going to be a deeper shadow on this side of her face, of her neck I mean. This side of her face is going to have a deeper shadow. as well. This side here is going to have a slight shadow from her hair. Her clothes are going to give a shadow as well. So make sure that you put those colors all in where your shadows are going to be, like that. I'm not sure if you guys can see that very well, but now you can also put a base down first, and I will show you that technique with the next one for the dark skin tone. Now we're going to take the next one, which is the pink rose, which is 176. So I'm just going to turn you here so I can write. And this is a purpley kind of pink color. I prefer a gray pink or a gray purple, but this works just fine too. And then we're going to go with this one right into that purple color and just bring it down. These faces are fairly small, so it's not going to take a lot. And I'm feathering it out a little bit so that when I put the other color in, I can blend it right into it, just like I did with the purple color. Oh, I forgot to put the shadow on her nose and under her lip. She's got a bit of a turned up little nose. Just going a little bit out off her chin here to the bottom of her lip. And like I said, I'm feathering it out a bit because the next color I'm going to add, I'm going to go into that pinky gray color. So we have a couple of different things going on today. I might put out a secondary video for today that has absolutely nothing to do with skin tones, but with something that I've been playing with thanks to Emily and her shenanigans. So this one is blush pink. So I will probably be putting out a video on pointinism. I don't know how to say it properly, but it's fairly fun. So I will do up a little video on how I'm doing it with the twee markers, or twi markers, however you want to say it. Okay, now we're starting to get into some of those peachy skin tone colors with this one. So now we're going to go right into that purpley color and into the dark area here as well. And we're just going to tone it down a little bit with the blush pink and blend it all together. This is the darker peach color that we're going to use. And I'm leaving the center area of the face open for the next color because that's where the light's hitting the most. Same with down here. We're going to leave this area here open for that next lighter color. Okay, so I know she's starting to look a little red, but like I said, it is more the camera than anything else. She is kind of pink, but we'll be eliminating that here in just a moment. So now we're going to go in with beige. Which is number 296. And as you can see, this one is more of a yellow peach color, so it's got more yellow tones in it. Where this one has more of a pink tone to it. And that's why she's looking like a little bit of a little bit too pink. So I'm just going over top of everything I've already done, blending those colors together and extending it out a bit. Still leaving her nose and that open for the next color. And I don't know how everybody else does the Blick coloring. This is only the way I do it, but it's a fairly good combination. So this one here is light peach. And it is number 247. And as you can see, it's a little bit more yellowy, but not as dark as that one. So now we're just going to go over the entire face. I know this one doesn't have any sort of definition for eyes, so I'm not going to worry about going into the whites of the eyes. I'm just looking at skin tones here, not worrying about eyes or hair, other than the fact that she has some. And I'm just going over the entire structure of the face and giving it that peachy kind of look. Blending everything all together and getting it nice and toned to the right color. Well, the right color that I think it should be anyway. So this area here is a little bit more reddy purple than I want, so I'm just going to go back in with the pink rose. I'm just going to extend that out a little bit and blend that out a touch. Same with up here. Just going to blend that hard line out a bit. And then we're going to take that light peach again, and we're just going to blend all of that blending back in to the rest of the colors, which will take that look like she's been punched in the side of the face off, and blend that tone in and make it look like the shadow of her hair. Now if you wanted to and you didn't feel that there was enough of a light tone to her face, you can go in with a cream and just put in a little bit more of that creamy light color. Especially in those areas that you want that highlight to show up. Now you could also do the cream first and work off of that base. So there is that, and I'm just going to put plus cream here, and just going to do a little swatch of the cream, just so that we know what color we used on top to blend it all together and make it all pretty. Okay, so there is our light skin tone, and we're going to put Blick up here. Okay, and then we're going to do a dark skin tone as well. Now the dark skin tone is a little bit different. We're going to be using some really dark colors. Now the first time I did dark skin tone, it took me forever to figure out what colors I needed in there. And I watched so many YouTube channels of what colors I needed to put in there. And they all did it so quickly, or already had it all laid down, that it took me a long time to figure out what colors I wanted to use for shadows and that sort of thing. So don't get discouraged. If you're making your own color blend, try different things. Make sure that you try, things that you would never suspect would be in a skin tone. For example, Delft Blue. I wouldn't have thought to use a deep purpley blue color for a skin tone. But I also don't color a lot of dark skin tones, and I really I wanted to. I was just afraid of them. I'm not as afraid of them now. I still get kind of afraid of them because I don't want to, offend anybody by, doing it wrong. But that's a part of learning, right? Is doing things wrong and having people that know better point it out to you. So don't be afraid of somebody saying, okay, yeah, that's not the right tone for that, or that's not the color that you should be working with. But another thing that I have come across quite a bit lately is people who are trying to teach um, wording their tutorials a little bit, in my opinion, incorrectly. Um, instead of saying how this is how you do it, how about this is how I do it, and if it works for you, great. Here's how I do it. Instead of this is how you have to do it. Because to me um, that's just not right, because everybody colors differently, and how you do it and how you think it should work and how you think that somebody should color something is completely different than the way that they color. So sometimes your how to, this is how you do it videos are discouraging, because that's not the way they color and that's not how it works for them. So, I prefer to list my videos instead of how-to videos. I prefer to list them as this is how I do it. Let me show you how I do it. Because personally, I do things a little bit differently. And, yes, I've learned from a lot of these people. However, I just don't think that, anybody should be told this is how it has to be, because it's not how it has to be. You can do your picture any way you want to do it. If you learn by watching somebody and grabbing your pencils and playing with it, play with it. That's how you learn. And of course, it is not set in stone on how it has to be. And I didn't put that Delft blue in the box. See, I got on my soapbox and I completely forgot what I was doing. I was just really, really discouraged. I was looking up videos just so I could see how other people were doing it. And a lot of them were, this is how you do it. This is how you do it. Not, this is how I do it. If it helps you learn, great. It was, this is set in stone. This is the right way to do it. And I don't think there's any right or wrong way to color. I don't think anybody's doing anything wrong when they color. I just don't think it's the right way to word that. I think it's discouraging myself. The next one, now I'm going to get off my soapbox and get back to what I was doing. So the next one I'm going to use is Pink Rose, which is 176. And this time I'm actually going to put it down properly. And this is the technique I was going to show you, or I was talking about, on covering the entire face with a undertone. So with a darker skin tone, I found that having a pink or a light purple undertone is very, very helpful. So with the Pink Rose, it gives you that nice dusty pink look. I have put down the shadow color first, and I am still going to go into that shadow color with the Dusty Rose. However, instead of stopping here where I did up here, I'm going to go everywhere. I'm just going to cover everything with a light layer of this Dusty Rose. Now make sure that you only use a light layer because you still got layers to build on top of this. In the areas where your dark is, you can of course go a little bit heavier there and bring that dark out. I got something in my pencil. I gotta sharpen this. There's a bit of a scratch on the pencil, which I don't like. Which is weird because I haven't had that before with these pencils. It feels like, hopefully it's all gone. So I'm just bringing that purple, that deep purple out a bit with the Dusty Rose, and I'm just going over the entire skin with this lighter tone. And what it does is it gives you that undertone to build from. You could also do this with a cream, depending upon the type of skin tone you're going for. If you're going for, say, an Asian skin tone, you want to add that cream. You want to get that yellow tone under the skin because, of course, they have a lot more yellow in their skin. I do apologize. It seems somebody is at my door, so I will be right back. Alrighty, so sorry about that. It seems my husband had a delivery. He does not believe in no by July. So it's kind of a good thing I'm in a no by July. So I'm just dragging that color out a bit, softening those edges. Okay, now we're going to get into some of the darker tones. So the first one we're going to use is dark brown. Let's spell it right, Renee, which is number 398. Yeah, I should have made these little squares a little bit smaller, I think. I think when I go back in and re-edit, I will knock the squares down a bit because that's a bit too much. So now what we're going to do is we're going to go in right into the deepest parts here, and we're going to bring that dark right down and out from her shadow area. Now, of course, like I said, this is a fairly small face, so try to watch where you're going and don't extend that too far. But remember to feather it out a little bit so that the next color has somewhere to go. And as you can see, it's much darker in those areas that I've put that purple, because brown is purple and orange. Okay, so once again, just going down into the purple and bringing it out. That pink undertone gives it that rosy kind of tone to it. I like the pink undertone. Okay, so the next one we're going to use, let's fix that, tip that up a bit so that I'm not hanging off the edge of the desk. So the next one we're going to use is light brown. Believe it or not, the light brown is a little bit darker than the dark brown, which is just weird to me. I think it's just the tone that's in it seems to be a little bit darker than the brown. But when I tested and did the test swatch, it seemed to be a little bit darker than the brown. So this is light brown. And it is number 478. Oh, no, because that one's 478. Well, I don't know. I don't know what the numbers are for then. So I don't know if these are actually numbers for the were the colors. So I'm glad I'm writing down the colors, because now I'm coming into colors that are very much the same number, so as ones that I've already used. So I don't know. I don't know. So with this lighter brown color, I'm just coming in, try not to leave a harsh line. So just coming in, adding it to that dark brown into the area that was feathered out. And once again, I'm just feathering it out a little bit more so that the next color will blend into this color. As you could tell with the previous one, I did not use a blending stick on it. I just let the pencils blend themselves. Of course, you can use a blending stick on it if you so choose, but that's up to you. Now we're going to go in with brown, and I'm not even going to write down the number because it's, yeah, see there's one, oh, because that's the same color. Yeah, I don't know why this Delft blue, let's see, where is Delft blue? Yeah, it says 478. I don't know why the Delft blue and the light brown are the same color number. 478. I don't know. So as you can see, the light brown has a deeper tone to it than the brown. So that's why I put down the light brown first. Interesting. So now I'm going over the entire area with the brown, right into everything. And just blending that all together, trying to make sure that the paper is working with me. Don't press too hard, otherwise you're just going to scrape off all of your color and damage the paper, and we want that tooth to be there. Not liking how it's blending over here for some reason. Sometimes when you put a lot of different colors down, especially it really depends upon the paper on how well they're going to blend, because this blended very nicely on my test picture. And it's not too bad, but this side here seems to have a bit of an issue. Alright, and then what we're going to do is we're going to take the burnt ochre and we're just going to blend it all together with the burnt ochre and give it a little touch of that tanny brown color. This one I might end up using the blending stick on because I'm not liking the way this is blending over here on that corner. And I'm going to take this dark brown and I'm just going to extend this out a little bit and fix that area. And then we'll use the brown. So like I said, sometimes you just got to play with the colors to get the outcome that you want. And sometimes, depending upon the paper, it works or it doesn't. And sometimes you just got to be persistent. You just got to add and add and add until it looks right. Or, of course, you can use a blending stick and blend it all out and hope it looks right. So let's grab a, oh, I got to put the ochre in there. So this one here, and we're just going to put plus burnt ochre. Now the pluses are the ones that we've used to blend and add a bit of highlight color. And that's looking awfully red to me, and I'm not sure I like that. So I'm going to take this one here. I'm just going to knock that down a bit, add a bit more yellow, a bit more of the orangey yellow to it. It's a little better. Alright, now where's my blending? I didn't take it out because I wasn't going to use it. Teach me when. Alright, so we've got the Caran d'Ache blender here, and I'm just gently going to bring those colors together. Trying not to put a lot of pressure on it because I don't want to dig it into it. I just want it to move that color together. You can, of course, force it by putting a little bit more pressure on it and digging into it a bit and recirculating that color, but just trying to just gently nudge. Alright, so there is our dark skin tone. It isn't absolutely perfect, absolutely not. I'm quite sure that if it's played with a little bit longer and I played with the color scheme, the colors in the box a little bit longer, I might be able to bring up a better combination. However, I sat there for, almost an hour last night fiddling with these, and this was pretty much the best one I came up with. So okay, so that is for the Blick Studio colored pencils for dark skin and light skin, and I think the light skin probably needs a little bit more of the peach. So I'm going to use the beige, which is more of a peachy color. So I'm just going to add a little bit more of that peachy color because she kind of looks like she has carbon monoxide poisoning. She looks a little red. So I'm just toning that red down a little bit with this peach. Now I could have done that with the ivory or the cream, I should say, which would have turned it to a peachy color as well. But I didn't want that yellow, that dark bright yellow to stand out as well. Alright, so we're going to take our blender stick and we're just going to blend, make sure that we get a good level of color in there. Blend it all together, make it all pretty and shiny. Another thing that using this blending stick does is it does allow you to pretty much seal those colors in. So when you've got them stored, they're not going to be rubbing off anywhere. And it also, not only does it brighten the colors, but it blends them together as well, which eliminates a bit of that red look to her skin. Okay, so there are our skin tones for the Blick Studios. And for the light skin tone, I've used light violet, pink rose, blush pink, beige, a light peach, and light peach and cream. And for the darker skin tone, I've used Delft blue, pink rose, dark brown, light brown, and then some burnt ochre. And I think they're pretty good. I think they're a fairly good level of skin tone. This is a really small picture. So when you are doing a larger picture, you don't get as much of the red tones, like in this one here. You don't get as much of that red tone because it's not in such a confined space. You can spread it out a little bit more. Same with this one here. You don't get as much of that dark brown or purple tones because you're able to spread that out a little bit more. Alright, so I'm going to switch it back over to the main camera here and let you see how those look in a little bit of distance, which I think they look pretty good. Alright, so that's our skin tone lesson for the day. Now let's take a look at her hair. Now, as you can probably see, there is definition to her hair where you can see individual strands on her hair, which is exactly what I wanted it to look like. However, in order to do that, it's a lot of different work. It's a lot of different strokes and flicks of different grays into the blues, into the blacks, and that sort of thing. Now, there is a way that you can do that once you've already got it all done. I finished it off and I sealed it up, like I burnished it and did all of that just to see how it looked. And it lost its shine. It lost its little bit of dimension. So I went to a friend of mine who does a lot of hair coloring and that sort of thing and said, okay, what do I do? And she said, well, just put in, little flicks of gray, or if you have a bobby pin or anything like that, just flick it out, add some dimension. Well, I have this tool, and this is a porcelain cutting blade, and it is a slice blade, and it is made for doing this. I use this for doing animal fur as well as hair. And I haven't used it on black hair before because I didn't want to put too much white into it. But as you can see, I have used it on here and it has worked quite well. Now, I did leave an area, I just have to find where it is. I did leave an area so I could show you what I was doing. Okay, so this area here, I'll put it under the close-up camera so you can see a little bit better. So as you can see, I've started up here, but I haven't finished down here. And I have added a little bit, but not a whole lot. Now, the hair is coming this way. So if you just take your little tool and you go into that hair Just gently, don't push too hard. You can add that dimension to the hair. Like that. Now what I was doing was I was taking the lightest blue that I was using and just filling those in. And then just rubbing it so that it would go into those flicks. Mr. Choo Choo Train. So it's filling that basically cut that you've put into the paper and adding that highlight. But that was the other thing that I was going to show you today, is how to do that. So these ones here, it's going this way. So just little flicks. Give it a rub. Make sure that you're not cutting too deep. And then you can just fill it in with the gray and rub it in. Like that. And it looks a little harsh when you first do it, but once you get it filled in and give it a couple of rubs, it does back off a little bit. And in the larger picture, you barely see it. So just little flicks. And if you find that you've put in too many, like I think that's one too many down there, you just go back in and you find your black. I know it's here, I just have to find it. Oh, right, I put it back because it was my Caran d'Ache. Alright, so I gotta find the black. Well, I've got a whole thing of pencils right here, so let's just use these. So what you do is you just take your pencil, your black pencil, and you go back in and do the same thing that you were doing with that blue pencil and fill those in. Just like that. Just like that. Like down in this area here, I want all of this to be really dark because it's the dark side of her hair. So I'm just filling that in with a bit of black. The flicks still show, it still shows the dimension. It just gives it a black look. Just re-adding a bit of that shadow there. Alright, so let's go back to the main camera. So as you can see, the areas that we've put those flicks in now continue that highlight. Same with down here, it gives you that little bit of highlight. Now I am going to fill in this one here a little bit, just because I want that to be a little bit less. I don't want this highlight to be brighter than that highlight, if that makes sense. Yeah, that's better. Okay. Now I said that I was going to do more on her hair stuff as well as her dress in this video. I think we're going to wait on that for a different type of video. Like I said, this is right now we're doing more in our hair and our skin tones, and I'd like to concentrate a little bit more on the skin tones. So this one here we've done as a oriental skin tone, and as you can see, she's quite pale, and she does have that creamy beige undertone. So the next one I will be doing will be a darker skin toned individual, and we'll put in use the darker skin tones like this that we have done today. This one here I will continue to work on, probably on Work in Progress Wednesday. I will work on this and the baubles and extras and all that fun stuff, as well as her gown and the flowers, and the butterflies and all of the extra bits. And of course I will post any finished products in the Facebook group as well as on the community tab of the channel. So today we have reviewed and gone through how to do skin tones with the Blick Studio colored pencils. This is not the only way to do it. This is how I've done it. And of course you can definitely change any of these techniques, any of these colors. Just make sure that you go through and test your colors, and that's why this sheet exists, so that you can test your colors and you can select the best for your skin tone that you want to do. Once again, this is a chart that I have created for my members. So if, of course, if you want to access any of my membership perks, you can definitely do so by clicking on the join link, and it will tell you all about the membership levels and how to become a member. Yeah. So that is what we've gotten done today, and that's what we're going to do today in this part of Tips and Tricks Tuesday on skin tones and hairstyles and colors and tricks on how to make it look very real. Alright guys, of course remember to like, comment, and subscribe. Leave me a message. Let me know what you thought of the video. I will be putting out another video thanks to Emily Illustrates for showing us pointillism. That's how you say it. And I will be showing you how I do it with the twee markers from Arteza or Arteza, whichever way you want to say it. I never say anything the same way as anybody else, so I don't know why I'm always surprised when I'm saying things wrong. Because I'm always saying things wrong. Well, I'm not always wrong. It's just my way. All right, guys, of course, remember to join us over on Facebook by filling out the application form. Just make sure you have all the little questions filled out, and we will get you in there as quickly as possible. Of course, that link is in the About section below. Oh dear, what else was I going to tell you about? Oh, at the end of the month, we have a very, very special colorathon going on. So make sure that you go on over to the community tab and take a look at that. I will be live and participating in the colorathon on the 30th of July. Yeah, July. But there are so many YouTubers participating, and there is a link on my announcement my little announcement post there that will give you the schedule for everybody that is participating and the times that they will be participating at. So make sure that you go through them all and locate everybody and ring their bells for the ones that you want to watch. Of course, there are some that I personally will not be watching because they're in the middle of the night my time, and I'm quite sure that it is the same for everybody else. But of course, always watch back and take a look. It is Julia in July, and the event is coloring a Julia Sperry picture. So that should be fun. There will be a couple of giveaways too, I think. I'm pretty sure I have a giveaway, and I think everybody else does too. So there's quite a few giveaways that you can get in on if you visit everybody's channel. All right, guys, remember to relax, color, and stay safe. Of course, thank you all very much for watching, and thank you all very much for subscribing to the channel. You have a fantastic day, and I hope the rest of your week is as wonderful as mine will be. Until tomorrow, guys, I'll see you later. Bye-bye for now.